JoJo's.
JoJo!
What a transition. Am I right, guys? Am I right?
Yeah, there was
No,
a whole
I'm
week
not
in
right.
there with another video.
Yeah, I know, right? It was literally 14 days, so not really a good transition at all. Part 5. We're watching it. We're watching it dubbed. What an idea. What a concept. This is your first time watching part 5. How are you liking it so far since we are at the halfway point? Roughly halfway point. I think we're a little over.
Roughly halfway point. I'm starting to see what you meant about, like, Giorno not really having much substance behind him, or at least not as much substance as the other JoJo's before him.
Yeah.
Just because if this really is the halfway point, like, I know that the JoJo is never the leader of the Joestar group of their individual parts. Like, there's always someone else. Until part 6.
Jolene is the leader. Doesn't end
But,
well.
Anyway. But, like, parts 1 through 4, at the very least, did a good job of having JoJo still be the protagonist, even while the, like, leader of the Joestar group was doing their own thing. However, it really feels like Giorno doesn't do anything unless Bucciarati tells him to. It really, like, yeah, like, sure, Giorno is clever in a battle, no problem. But, like, it doesn't feel like he's going forth on his quest to clean up the streets or, like, to become a gang star. It feels like that's just, like, the requirement to be a character at all. Like, he had become Gangstar just filled in on his character sheet or whatever, and everything else is going on around him, and he's just gonna happen to become that once he defeats the boss, because he has to face up the boss if he's gonna protect Trish.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't really have any autonomy, which is really taking away from him, because I'd like to like Giorno more than I do. But it feels like he has a bit of personality going for him, and he's got, like, some good moments, some, like, nice quirks, but literally nothing he does seems to be coming up or to be important to the story. Like, I know for a fact he never figures out anything about Dio, like, even though he's, like, almost idolizes him because he doesn't know how much of a jerk he is. But at the same time, that never comes up. Like, he never, at least maybe he does or doesn't, I don't know, but, like, he never fights any of the Joestars or Jotaro in, like, revenge for his dad. Does he?
No, that absolutely never happened. He never, at least in the canon material, he never meets any of the other Joestars. Like, he meets Polnareff. That's the closest he gets. And Polnareff doesn't even know that it's Dio's kid.
Yeah, so that's just...
Someone remind me if he actually knew that, and it was just like, nah, it doesn't matter because Diavolo is way worse. Is way more of a pressing problem. But he certainly didn't know when he first gets reintroduced to the plot. Yeah, that would have been cool for him to face off with, like, Jotaro or even Josuke.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen, so that doesn't happen. Like,
he fought Koichi.
Yeah, but that's like just the barest thing. Plus, that already happened, so, like, there's nothing to look forward to for that. And yeah, it doesn't feel like he's really fighting for his.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Giorno. You just don't contribute much. It's just an unfortunate fact. He really doesn't accomplish all that much. He sort of, everything that he gets by the end of the series is kind of just handed to him. He's literally handed the arrow by his friends. He's given a fucking requiem stand, and he uses it to just murder Diavolo, and he's just handed the mafioso boss seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't dislike Giorno. I mean, he's got his cool moments, but that's really it.
Yeah.
Like if this show wasn't as good as it is, Giorno would be just dragging it down even further. Like
It
the fact that
does.
the show is good in spite of Giorno's uselessness is amazing, to be perfectly honest.
I'd be hard pressed to call him a Gary Stew, but like
It kind of is.
he is. No, he not kind of is. He is. He's got an ultra powered stand. He has no real personality quirks, and like he basically just gets what he aims for, even when he isn't actively trying to get it. So
Gets the drugs off the streets.
does he even though?
He does in Purple Haze feedback by sending Fugo to do it.
Okay.
Purple Haze feedback. Please animate that. Someone. I've listened to the audiobook version of it by River Dude. He did a great job with that. But I want to animate it, damn it. I want to be able to see manic depression or what's it called? The Dolly Dagger. That's the knife. There's some weird ass stands in that one. Manic Depressive is disgusting looking, and his stand user is Tonio's brother.
Oh, Tonio has a brother? Nice.
He has a brother. He has a brother who is in the mafia and is the leader of the narcotics division. And his stand is actually the direct opposite of his.
Oh, so he makes good food and it hurts you?
No, he makes drugs that hurt you. He mixes his stand with drugs. It's wonderful. Great book. Great fucking book. The only useful thing Fugo ever does in the series. But we're not talking about Fugo anymore because he left the party. Officially. We got to that point. Let's actually move back and go through every bit. We got through the Grateful Dead and Beach Boy fight. Because that was like about to happen when we last recorded. So we did that. I think that's still like my favorite fight in the series so far. I want to hear what you think about it.
I like how they're doing more like synergized stands, because like originally, like I guess in parts 3 and 4, there was kind of this thing where it would feel like sometimes an enemy stand user would pull out a power or pull something out of their ability that was just complete horseshit as just like an extra obstacle. So I feel like they did a good job of working around that by having synergized stands where 2 stand users fight at the same time, or they work off of one another to make new things happen. So that's something I will commend. However, I do feel like there's still some like pussyfooting around in the danger of the individual synergizers, because like Beach Boy, realistically, I don't see how he survives without Purple Haze. Like, I mean, no, Grateful Dead. What am I saying? Grateful Dead. Like I can see him being useful, but at the same time, like he's not anywhere near as good as he could be without Grateful Dead as the main act.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's also kind of the dynamic between the characters too, which is why I think it's a lot of fun, because it is his older brother Prosciutto really pushing him to be better throughout that whole fight. And it also like kind of reflects what their position in the gang in La Squadra as well, which is an interesting dynamic that you don't get too much of, and also I mean primarily because they both die at the end. You know, kind of can't use them anymore. Which is unfortunate. But I mean, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Train. Uh, but like, I mean, I think my love for the fight is a bit biased because it's also the first time we get the Ari Ari Ari, which is my absolute favorite stand cry just of all time. I think nothing tops it because it's a clean jump into him saying arrivederci, which is badass. Because I mean, before it was aura, 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 aura. Where do you go with that? I don't know. Muda, muda, muda. I don't know where you can do with that. Dora, da, da, da. Nah.
Dora the Explorer.
Arrivederci. Suck it. It's beautiful. And again, I said this 2 months ago. Naranchik kind of steals it for himself with the Vola Vola Vola, which is not as cool, and it's only used once, but it's still cool. We're getting there. That's in like a couple weeks. But yeah, you got some crazy ingenuity, and you also got to see the first part of Trish's stand.
Yeah,
she makes a footprint appear. I don't know. It's a weird. It's kind of like Iraqi was like, what is Trish stand gonna be? Footprint. Did it. And then the stand is nothing like that at all. So, who cares? We're also getting to that in a few weeks. Yay.
Well, I'll sure to be excited, I guess, for our very first like femme stand user.
Who's a good guy.
Yeah, who's a good guy and who is canonically a member of the team.
Yes.
Yukako.
Oops, didn't hear you there. Did you say Yukako? Banned. Oh well. I mean, let's be honest though, Yukako did more for her team than Trish ever does. Trish does one thing in the final fight. That's it. That's the extent of her use. It's kind of sad. No, you're right. Yukako is a much better character. But that's okay. It's okay. Because in the next part there's a lot more female characters that are a lot more interesting and a lot more powerful. You got Jolene, you got Hermes, and you got FF who identifies as female, so good enough. Okay. Alright, so after the train fight, there was Babyface.
Baby!
Everyone gangster till the computer starts walking.
Sexual harassment stand.
Ah, yes. Rape stand. Gotta love it. So, yeah, computer is the computer itself is the stand. The homunculus is its power. That always throws some people off. I know that. Because I mean, the homunculus actually looks like a stand, whereas the computer is just a big old computer from 2001. Even though it was being written in the late 90s, so he was predicting the future. Yeah. Actually, it's weird. Like, all of parts 4, 5, and 6 are written before the times that they take place. And I find that always just fascinating. Maybe that's why part 6 mostly takes place in a prison, so he wouldn't have to update the technology.
Just keep him in all the cruel conditions.
Yeah. I mean, it was written in the early... I mean, it starts in 2011, but it's being written in the early 2000s, so... Yeah, a lot changed in that time. But yeah, Babyface, it happened. That's the only fight in part 5 where I just say, yeah, that happened. Everything about it happened. It's weird. We move on. But it's the only one of the few solo fights that Giorno gets.
Wasn't worth it.
No, you're right. It wasn't. After that was the much better White Album fight with the gold Frozone. Awkward pause.
Yeah, there's nothing much to say though. Like a lot of these things really aren't like I'm starting to understand why every time I hear like references to part 5, like people like Kim Crimson is always the enemy stand that's brought up. But like even during parts 4, 3, like even though the main attraction was Kira and Dio, like you still got people who would make references or make talks to like Angelo and
Yo, Angelo.
yeah, yo Angelo and
Do not
like
pass this video without typing "Yo Angelo" in the comments.
yes, you have to write that. Fill it with that comment. But
Yes.
yeah, like references to other like minor antagonists. Whereas like in part 5, I really haven't been feeling all that attached to any of these sort of minor like members of Passion.
That's actually really interesting because people that I talk to and videos that I watch have the exact opposite opinion. Like, I think that's just so fascinating. Most people, when they think of like good JoJo minor antagonists, they all point to part 5 with these really weird and wacky mobsters. I like them. I like there's a handful of them that I would say are
I
like
like
my
a
top favorite.
few. I like Polpio or
Popo.
Popo,
He's a
whatever it is.
chicken.
Yeah.
It means chicken
Yeah.
because he's fat. I don't know. Uh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Ghiaccio, I think his thing was just that he yells. That's just his whole thing. It's just a contrast with his ice ability. He's hothead with ice. I think that was the idea. I don't know. I think you'll like Risotto Nero when we get to him.
I hope so.
I think the next two are. Well, I mean, their personality is just that they're gay. That's literally their whole thing.
Okay.
That's it. The
Can't
stand-ins
get
are
enough.
actually kind of interesting.
Look, you can never get enough of violent gay people, and that'll be important later on in this video when we talk about the things we've been seeing.
Hey, we're getting
Hey.
there. In another 3 weeks from this point.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Anyway, yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's completely funny that that you don't really find these minor antagonists interesting because we're coming up on Carne, whose whole shtick is that he dies. Let's say he walks up and gets shot in the head. That he doesn't get a personality; he's just dead.
Well, that'll be fun.
It will be fun, but this is the point that I really wanted to get to. We've caught up in all the minor fights. We got to King Crimson's first appearance. That's the important thing. So everyone loves this scene. I love this scene. John, do you love this scene?
I love that scene.
It's a great scene.
It's
I'm
creepy and like
yeah.
atmospheric, intimidating, and just
The fact that you never see Diavolo himself, it's only his stand. It's like it's like a complete 180 of Dio. Like you knew what Dio like the whole time. I mean, he was in the shadows, but you knew what he looked like. But you never saw his stand at all. This is the first time we actually see the boss.
It was like we went 2 episodes fighting Dio before we even like saw the world. I think we went at least a full episode never seeing
a full episode without seeing the world, and then boom, there it was, and it was a big moment.
Whew.
God damn, King Crimson. He's. I'm
You
gonna say something
memorable.
really. I'm gonna say something real controversial right now. I prefer his English voice actor.
You do.
I do.
That
I
is
went and rewatched.
much like the like final boss battle or whatever. You've now done a complete 180. You
Yeah.
prefer
Yeah.
the English in
So
some.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I watched that scene. I listened to him and was like, the first episode that he was in, the first few lines I was iffy on. The second episode sold me, where he like properly gets into it. I rewatched the scene in Japanese, and I was really like, no, I prefer the English actor. I actually do. I can't really explain it. They're both creepy, but I feel like I've heard the Japanese voice actor, whose name I unfortunately do not have memorized, but here it is on the screen. I've heard him. I've heard that voice in like a million other anime. I heard that villain voice before.
Yeah.
It's not surprising. The English voice, it just feels so kind of unique. Like I can't really explain it, but it just gives off this vibe that I hadn't heard before.
The like voice actor, like the last major role, at least that I know of, that this voice actor did was Funtime Freddy from like FNAF.
Yeah, he's in FNAF. I forgot about that. He's in FNAF. Like, it's weird, right?
Yeah, and so that kind of means that he easily has a more unique range than what anime tends to do, or go for at least.
That's a joke. A video I need to make. FNAF references in this scene. I'm gonna get kicked off the internet.
I mean, hey, if you think about it, the FNAF animatronics do function a lot like King Crimson. You never see them.
Yeah, they really do. They sort of teleport.
Yeah, and
or
then
at least
they
always
like
feel like teleport.
And then they donut you, and they're supernatural. They're ghosts.
You know what? Very accurate. I'm gonna make that video. Eventually.
Hey,
it'll probably be after this comes out. Actually, definitely be after this comes out. What was I gonna say? I just everything about that scene is so good. I like how Bucciolati is kind of able to outthink Diavolo. Like he's able to logically get away. He doesn't beat him, but he escapes, and that's a huge accomplishment for having only just figured out what the fuck this guy can do, and only really scratching the surface, because we haven't even gotten to Doppio yet.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to see something confusing? Doppio. King Crimson, not confusing. I understand King Crimson. Doppio, excuse me, how the fuck?
Excuse me, good sir. How do you shapeshift like this?
He literally shrinks like 2 feet.
He shrinks 2 feet. He becomes a twink. He like his hair gets shorter. His eyeballs change color.
His eyes change color. How? I don't get it. How did you do this? How did you manage to do this? Doppio is an anomaly of science. But I gotta say, in keeping with Giorno being absolutely dull, Diavolo's backstory is just he was born in a prison. That's it.
And now he constantly feels imprisoned, even outside.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. You got it. You hit the nail on the head. Woo, whatever. And then he dies forever.
Imprisoned
again.
That's
GER does to you. It kills you infinitely.
Yeah.
He's still dying to this day.
It has been so many days since Diavolo began dying.
Yeah.
I wonder how long until his brain stops thinking, like it did with Cars and Anubis.
I mean, I'm not one of those people that says that everything is a JoJo's reference, but uh, DC literally did a a JoJo's reference by literally taking that concept and applying it to Darkseid. Darkseid's Omega beams can transport you to what is it, the Omegaverse, something like that, where you die infinitely. You keep living lives and dying. They literally took that concept. So that is a JoJo's reference.
Yeah.
Silly DC. Why don't you? No, I was gonna say steal something better, but that was a really good thing to steal. So good job, DC. Good on you. I may be a fanboy, but I don't say good job, DC very often. I'm definitely hard on them.
As you should be.
As it should be. DC, keep DC Universe afloat. It's actually good.
The animated version is good, not the
No, I mean
not the movie stuff.
the streaming site.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is good.
That's the thing that's being threatened to be taken down because HBO Max is going to be doing all the DC stuff as well. I should say as well with hope in my heart because I pay for DC Universe and I don't pay for HBO Max and I don't fucking want to. Fuck you, HBO. You make enough money. You don't need to make that exclusive. You don't need to make an exclusive streaming site when you could literally just pay for HBO Go, which is the same fucking thing. I'm just saying. It's so stupid.
Got it out of your system?
Yeah, for now. But yeah, this is, I believe, what would be considered the halfway point. Let me just double check because I have my Crunchyroll open so I can just look at all the episodes. There are 39 episodes in the part. We have just finished episode bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum bum 21 is what we just finished.
Yeah, so yeah, we're a little bit beyond the halfway mark.
Yeah, we're about halfway. Just over. But yeah, so the next thing that's gonna happen is Clash and Talking Head. I showed you Clash already. This is the shark.
Mm-hmm.
Shark
Shark
Pie
Boy
Soup.
and Lava Girl.
Shark Boy and Tongue Girl. That's what this is. Even though they're both boys. Because, like I said, gay. I don't think there's a single female antagonist in part 5. Unless I'm forgetting someone. No, I don't think there is. Just a random thing I've noticed. Oh. Weird. Anyway, so the next episode is tomorrow in real time. So we'll see that. Because last week there was a Dragon Ball Z Kai marathon. So there was no new episode.
Of course, everything's got to like turn around for damn Dragon Ball.
Woo, Dragon Balls. Gotta catch them Dragon Balls. 7 magic balls. Make your wish come true. Anyway, anything more to say on part 5? Any notes?
Not for this week at the very least.
Cool. Oogity boogity, arrivederci.